Today, we're diving into a documented case that really challenges the very limits of what we think we know about human memory. So let me just ask you this. What if some memories don't actually start when we're born? I mean, what if a child could somehow remember a life? A life that ended before their own even began? It's a huge question, right? It kind of challenges our most fundamental ideas about who we are. But look, this isn't about belief systems. This is about a specific, documented case that was so detailed, it made serious, skeptical researchers just stop and really investigate. And that's exactly where our story kicks off, with a child's seemingly impossible memory. It all started with a 3-year-old boy. He began having the same absolutely terrifying nightmare, night after night. I mean, he would wake up screaming, just completely distressed by something he couldn't possibly have experienced. And he'd tell his parents the same chilling thing over and over. I died in a plane crash. Now, at first, they figured, okay, it's just an overactive imagination. But then, the details that started coming out were just too specific to ignore. The level of detail he gave was just startling. He described the type of aircraft, he talked about seeing the ocean stretching out below, a fire breaking out on board. He even vividly recalled the moment the plane went down. And the most remarkable part, he insisted that he was the pilot. So you can imagine, his parents were just baffled. They went through everything. Had he seen any war movies? Nope. Played any flight simulator games? No. Ever even been near an airbase? Not a chance. There was just no logical explanation for where these incredibly specific and traumatic images were coming from. With every logical explanation exhausted, the family's story finally reached a researcher who decided it was time to take a proper scientific look at it. And that researcher was Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia. Now, this guy wasn't a mystic. He was a serious scientist who dedicated decades of his career to meticulously documenting cases just like this one, cases of children who claimed to remember past lives. His method was simple, but incredibly rigorous. He didn't set out to prove or disprove anything. As he saw it, his job was just to listen, to really listen to the child's claims, and then painstakingly check them against the actual historical record. And what that methodical, scientific approach uncovered, well, it was truly unsettling. Here's the kicker. After digging through old military archives, Dr. Stevenson found something. He found the records of a World War II pilot whose death was an almost perfect match. The specific type of aircraft, the location over the ocean, even the details of how the plane went down. Every single key element from this little boy's nightmares lined up with a real event from the historical record. A discovery like that, as you can imagine, doesn't just go unchallenged. It kicked off a pretty significant scientific debate about what was really going on here. You know, Dr. Stevenson himself always had a very cautious scientific stance on all this. His guiding principle was that science has to observe a phenomenon thoroughly before it rushes to judgment. He never claimed his work was definitive proof of anything, only that it presented data that demanded an explanation. And of course, mainstream psychology has several potential explanations. Could it be a case of false memory? We know the mind can sometimes create vivid, emotionally charged memories of things that never happened. Or was it just an incredible 1 in a billion coincidence? Another possibility is something called cryptomnesia. It's sort of a hidden cultural influence, where the child might have absorbed details from a conversation or a TV show playing in the background, and then later recalled them as his own experience. And here's another layer to the puzzle, one of the most consistent patterns Stevenson found across hundreds of these cases. The memories were always incredibly vivid in early childhood, but then, right around age 7 or 8, they'd start to fade. And by adulthood, they were almost always gone, as if the experiences of the current life were just overriding. So, after you weigh all the evidence against the potential explanations, you're still left with a really powerful, lingering question. And let's be crystal clear, science does not conclude that this case, or any others like it, prove the existence of past lives. It just doesn't. But what it does do is present us with this profound puzzle about the very nature of memory itself. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. Maybe the ultimate mystery isn't about where we've been. Maybe it's about being honest about how little we still truly understand about the vast uncharted territory that is the human mind. Which leaves us all with this final thought. If this detailed, traumatic memory wasn't taught to him, and it wasn't experienced in this life, then where did it come from?